Yes, we brought Bovilis MH onto the market about 5 or 6 years ago. That was a long process in development. We used local isolates and to produce the vaccine. Critically, it was also isolates that produced a lot of leukotoxin, which is important to confer protection. We did a lot of trial work, and it was launched about 5 or 6 years ago, and I think it's made a significant difference to the level of BRD we're seeing in various yards around the country. The adoption, the uptake has been pretty widespread.
BRD can be a big issue at times. It has its times during the year, particularly coming into through summer and autumn.
BRD accounts for 60 to 70% of our health issues in the yard, and it's by far our biggest health issue.
For those years when we had our our feedlot running, we got to obviously know our cattle very well, being around them all week. We used to do sort of 55 or 70 a week. And we found that in those drought years, we had a lot of, with a lot of dust, a lot of temperatures change from hot to cold during the days. We found we had a lot of respiratory problems, to the point where we had them autopsies as they were being killed, and we had up to 75% with pneumonia and pleurisy. Now that obviously is costing huge amounts, not only in deaths but in loss of production.
Our current protocol involves some pre-vaccination of cattle before they come into the yard. We also use Bovilis and RhinoGuard at induction, as well as low stress stock handling and cattle acclimation techniques to maximise the performance of the cattle as early as we can in the feeding period.
All our backgrounding cattle, of which there's about 15% of our cattle are backgrounded, get a Bovilis MH while they're on grass. They get their second shot at induction at the feedlot, plus they get a RhinoGuard at induction.
Obviously we consulted with some vets and we started using the Bovilis, and we found a huge drop in both the number of infections and obviously our mortality rate dropped as well. It was quite stark.
A well-prepared animal, or more a well-prepared mob, is what we're looking for, is a group of animals that have been socialised. They've already been vaccinated as much as possible on grass, be it 1, possibly 2 shots of MH before they arrive. And then we'll finish off preparation with an IBR vaccine, pat them on the bum, and hopefully they're right to go.
We know, talking to our customers, the consultant vets in the feed yard and other researchers, that while MH is the thing that kills them in the end, IBR is a really important pathogen as well. So looking to produce a vaccine that also confers protection and immunity against IBR was really important.
The benefits for the industry, for the feedlot industry specifically here, is that we can get hold of the isolates that are actually causing disease in this country. So the isolates are local, we can develop the vaccine locally, we can do all the trials here and do all the registration work through the Australian system. Along with that, we'll also, of course, have access to technical information and technical details for how to manufacture these vaccines from our colleagues overseas.
It does take a great deal to bring a product like this to market, particularly now it's a brand new product. So you've got a lot of registration work, a lot of field trials, pre-field trials, so efficacy work. It involves actual challenge studies in pens where we have to prove that the vaccine works, and then you follow that up with field work to again prove that the vaccine works in the field. Then you prepare the full registration dossier, which has to be assessed by the APVMA, and again that's a long back and forth phase where they look at the dossier, they ask questions, we provide answers to that, and that can be a long process, often 3, 4, in this case 5 years.
Will the product be a benefit? It certainly will with our backgrounding cattle, given that we can give them a shot on grass and the follow-up shot at the feedlot. It will save using a RhinoGuard, and the data says that quite possibly your new product's going to be better than our current situation.
We believe the combined MH plus IBR will be of benefit. The data we've seen suggests that it's going to be better than our current vaccination protocols.
The relationship's everything when it comes to backgrounders, particularly now that there's a lot of competition in the market for good feeder cattle. So we work with these guys a lot. We reward them for vaccinating on farm. I suppose our catchphrase is we pay the right money for the right cattle on the day.
Well, I think to get your reputation, it's all on your cattle. And if you can stand behind your cattle and they're healthy and they do a good job for your feedlot you're supplying, then that's the way I think to really project yourself in the industry.
Oh, it's very important to have a good reputation as a supplier. The cattle that we put into the feedlots, they want them pre-vaccinated and well prepared. So we try and accommodate them in every way we can. At the end of the day, if the cattle that we have aren't what they're looking for, then it's no good for us either. So we're looking to provide the best possible product we can.
The benefits of doing the vaccination prior to sale is setting it up for the feedlots while we're preparing the cattle ourselves, and then when they go to the feedlots in their induction they can give them their second injection and then they can go straight on to feed without having to come back again for it. I have no problems in trying new things to add to our operation to make it a little bit better.
By doing this product and identifying yourself as a producer who's done it, it makes you, I think, have a more saleable product. It gives you every chance for the feedlots to come to you rather than you have to go to them.